Happy Sunday, everybody. It's going to be another hot day. Those showers may pop up this afternoon. We'll be watching that for you. And we're always watching the roads, but right now, we're watching the law. This is Law 2020, and we put the law into focus for you, courtesy of the BCN law firm. That's right, BCN. Boyette, Cummins, and Nalos. And you can reach them anytime, even right now, at 855-529-2020. That's 855-LAW. 2020 offices in Winter Park, Claremont, Lakeland, the Villages, brand new office up there. And boy, that thing's getting a lot of business. And of course, a satellite office for your convenience down in Sebring, bcnlawfirm.com. And you can see the shows as they're taped and put on the YouTube channel, BCN Law channel. Wade Boyette's with us today. He is the B in BCN. How you doing?
Doing great. It's nice to be back. Took a couple weeks off, and I think we had Heath last weekend, which was nice, and Ken the week before. So it's good to give them a chance to come on the radio and do their thing. So it's nice to be back.
Mm-hmm. I think it shows the versatility of the law firm, also the expertise that everybody has. I mean, we've had you on, we've had Eileen Mazinetz on, and Heath, and of course his wife is on, who also works at the firm. We've had just about everybody on.
It's great. You know, everyone has their specialty. That's what makes our firm unique is, you know, we have 11 attorneys. All of us specialize in different areas of law. We overlap somewhat, but we each have our niche that we focus on. Mm-hmm. And so it's good to have that specialist come on the radio show and talk about what they do.
I'll tell you what, like you mentioned right before the show, this has been an active 2 and 3 weeks. If you look at what's been going on nationally, you look at what the Supreme Court's been up to, they've dropped a few bombs along the way. So it's been pretty exciting.
It has been a very exciting week, and, you know, a lot of water cooler talk. You know, it's good that everybody has their opinions and sit around, and, you know, it's interesting.
Well, one of the things that we talked about with Heath last week was with the marriage law coming into effect, there's going to be an awful lot of same-sex couples that now are going to be forming a legal union. I would think one of the first things they would want to do is they've got the emotion, okay, that's going strong, is see an attorney about what the new rights are, because there are rights that are conveyed now, the Homestead Act and others, that they will fall under. So I would think they would really need to sit down with a Wade Boyette and say, well, Wade, you know, what do we do about beneficiaries? What do we do about common property? What do we do about maybe bank accounts now that we can have together? You know, I would think that would take a legal knowledge as well.
You know, and it does, and that's always been an active part of my practice. And even before, you know, it was, you know, legal in the states to marry, I had to sit down and we had to overcome those issues through different types of planning, and we did. You know, now it makes it so much easier, and as, you know, we need to all get together, look at what rights spouses have, you know, legal spouses have, and redo and readdress those issues.
Now, I mean, it was one thing to fight for the right, but now that they have the right, there's probably not 100% knowledge of what all those rights are.
Absolutely. And, you know, most of my couples, non-traditional couples, financially they do real well because, you know, both work. You know, some have kids, you know, adopted children, others don't. But, you know, they usually, you know, most of the time I'm dealing with the affluent people, you know, their finances are such that they need to do planning. Now the doors are wide open.
Amen to that. Hey, if you have questions about any form of the law, anything, just go ahead and dial us up right now. It's toll free. You don't have to use your real name. It is a legal show, by the way, at 855-297-9696, 855-297-9696. You could text us at 21232. 21232. One of the things that you and I talk about often is the fact that even though it's not in the headlines anymore, there are still people who are seeking real estate remedies, people who are still upside down, people who still may have been told they were going to be foreclosed upon, and they're waiting for the other shoe to drop, and some of these are 5 and 6 years old.
You know, and I talked to you a little bit about this, you know, off the air. I'm amazed. I've been up in the Villages a lot the last few weeks. The attorney that primarily handles that office has been on maternity leave. And so, you know, I'm up there and amazed at the number of clients up there who are in financial trouble, you know, in their retirement years. And a lot of them because of real estate. And so I've really been working to try to help them find alternatives. Bankruptcy is always could be an end solution, but our goal as a firm is a little bit, even though it's non-traditional for bankruptcy attorneys. I don't use that as our first. We don't fire that shot first. My job is to sit down with the client and try to find any way that we can to help them get back on their feet financially without having to file bankruptcy.
And, for that generation, and you and I have had this discussion, but it bears repeating. For the generation that is now in their retirement years, the word bankruptcy or foreclosure is worse than the plague. But it's part of our laws, and it's part of a remedy.
That, the hardest part that I've had meeting with the clientele that are older is convincing them when it is necessary to file bankruptcy, when that is in their best interest, to come to terms and come to grips with it. Once they do, it's smooth. But it's getting them, because they feel like they're going to wear a scarlet letter on their head. And I tell them, you're not going to wear a scarlet letter. Instead, what's going to happen is you're going to wake up the next day and you're going to feel a relief that you haven't felt in a long time.
Well, remember back when we were growing up, Wade, and we're approximately the same age, although you look half as young as I am. You look like you're 30. I look like I'm 99. But anyway, remember back in the day when people went to their local newspaper and they'd be thumbing through the paper, and one of the things they'd go to is obits.
Right.
And then like 2 pages later was foreclosures. And, did you see that the Smiths filed for foreclosure? They were foreclosed upon, or they're going bankrupt. Better call them and get that $5 they owe us. It was such a shame. But when 401ks went down the tubes, property values tanked, the markets lost 48% in a matter of months. Right. That's not really their fault.
It's not, and that's something else is, most of my clients didn't go out and spend excessive amounts of money.
Sure.
They didn't intentionally put themselves in debt. I've never met a client that's come in that's been a bad person, wanting to file bankruptcy. They got themselves in a bad situation. And that situation could be because of the collapse of the real estate market, the collapse of the stock market, divorce, death, medical bills. I can go down a list of things that can put someone in financial trouble. Most people out there, most of my listeners, they'll understand this, that they live 1 month away from being in financial trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, you go out, you work your hard 40, 50, 60-hour week to make a nice paycheck, to be able to pay your bills, but they don't have a year's worth of savings in their savings account.
Yeah.
So when life does throw them a curveball, it's tough. And we have to find ways to help them get through those hurdles. And
it's nice to get a redo. And I think, like you say, that many of the people you and I have talked about without names will walk away from there going, whew, now the weight of the world's off my shoulders.
That's whenever I usually walk out of a 341 hearing with a client, or we help the client through their 341 hearing, which is the notice of creditors. The first thing they said is, wait, if I knew it was going to be like this, I would have done it a lot sooner.
There you go. Hey, let's go to Lisa in Winter Park. And again, you don't have to use your real name if you're calling about a legal matter. We're very understanding in that light. But Lisa, go ahead with your question. You're on the air with attorney Wade Boyette of the BCN Law Firm. Go ahead.
Thank you so much for my call. I'm a 72-year-old senior, and I lost my house back in March of the 31st of this year. And so now I get the bank that it foreclosed under went out of business. And so my attorney contacts me by letter saying I'm going to be able to move back into my house. Is there something to fear from that? Because that's kind of scary at this point, because I've had my things in storage since March.
Yeah, Lisa, let me ask you a question. You said the bank foreclosed on your house.
Yes.
Did they go through the foreclosure process, actually get a judgment and sell your property?
No, they did not. They were supposed to auction it off April 7th.
Okay.
And then when I rode by the house, there was for sale sign on the yard. And then I found out this particular bank went out of business. So then my attorney writes me a letter and says, I'm able to move back into my house because the bank that had me under foreclosure went out of business. And so I'm scared about going back into the house thinking, okay, all my things have been in storage all this time. I had help moving it into storage because I couldn't do it.
Right.
And
here's the problem, Lisa. You told me there was a sale date set.
Yeah, there was a sell date set, but it never happened.
Right, but the fact that there was a sale date tells me there was a judgment entered. You have to they first have to either get a summary judgment or win the foreclosure suit, and then they have the sale date. So you've lost the foreclosure suit. The title to the property though is still in your name.
Apparently.
Yeah, if you would, and I'd be more than happy to, if you have 10 minutes of time, if I could pull the docket, look exactly where you are in your foreclosure case. I could tell you real quick. And then the next question is, do you really want to move back into the house?
Well, if it's not going to cost me anything other than moving my belongings back in there, yes, I would love that because I have no idea where I'm going to go if I don't.
Right. What I would hate for you to do is take the expense, incur the expense, take the time, move your stuff into that house. They reset the sale date. The fact that the bank went out of business, someone's going to acquire those assets. It's going
right.
So you're only buying yourself time. It's just how much time is it going to be enough time to make it worth you moving back in?
Right. That's what I'm worried about. And the attorney, I don't know. He said if anybody contacted me about foreclosing on my house again, to call him immediately.
Well, that's always a good idea. Anytime you're in a lawsuit and you get any correspondence, it's a great idea to call whatever attorney that is representing you so that they can know what's going on. But if you need a second opinion, you want just another set of eyes over it, I'll be glad to take a look at it for you.
That would be so wonderful if you could. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day, Dave.
Okay, and Lisa, if you're in Winter Park, there is an office in Winter Park, and you simply get on the phone and call 855-529-2020. That's 855-LAW-2020. And you can also look up the BCN Law Firm at bcnlawfirm.com. Hey, let's go to a break, and we'll come back with Rhonda. She's got a great question. So, Rhonda, you hang on, and if you lose your place in line, you call us right back at 855-297-9696, 855-297-9696. Text us at 21232, 21232. You know, we had some bad weather yesterday. We're going to keep an eye on the skies today, and if warranted, we'll go into storm center coverage. But right now, Florida's looking great. We'll be back after three big things you need to know. All right, you can text us at 21232. That's right, 21232. And Chris is our operator, our producer today. He will read those. And we also are taking calls right now for Wade Boyette of the BCN Law Firm, 855-297-9696. And don't forget, Monday morning, bright and early, catch up with all the news you might have missed over the weekend and a look at the Monday morning news starting at 5 o'clock with Orlando's only all-news morning show, Joe Kelly and Company, right here on News 96.5. 5 o'clock is awfully early. I tell you what, let's go to Rhonda. Rhonda, what seems to be your question for Wade Boyette?
Yes, hi. Thanks for taking my call. I have a property that I am leasing with an option to buy, and there's 2 years left on the lease with option to buy. And I just don't know if I should die, does that lease keep going with the option to buy, and then my heirs would collect the rent or collect the option money, and then when the purchase goes through in another 2 years, my heirs would get the money, or does the contract get null and void if something happens to me?
Yeah, Rhonda, that's a good question. So you're actually the landlord in this case?
Yes, yeah, the homeowner. I don't have a mortgage on it. I own it free and clear, but I'm renting it out and I did a 3-year option to buy, and they're 1 year into it.
Okay, and without looking at the lease agreement, I'm going to tell you my opinion is yes, your heirs or your estate would have the right. They would continue to collect rental payments. And your tenant then would have the option. They would have that right to exercise their option at the end of that period. And if they did exercise the option and closed on it, then your estate or whoever inherited that real estate would end up selling it to them.
Okay. The other question I have another property that I do have a mortgage on that I live in. And if something happened to me, would that mortgage be able to be assumable by I have 2 children, so would it be able to be assumable by them, or would they have to reacquire another mortgage?
Yeah, they shouldn't have to acquire another mortgage. What I would recommend that you do, Rhonda, is one, just for ease of estate administration, we could sit down and talk about different vehicles from trust and many different vehicles to just make it easier on your kids. But when they inherit that property, they will inherit the obligation to pay that debt also. So they'll just continue paying the mortgage. But what you don't want, I mean, what you're telling me now is you have your homestead property, and then you have investment property. And if you own that investment property in your individual name and pass away, then if you have a will, it's going to go according to your will, but we're going to have to go through probate. And, I would recommend that you set some vehicles up. It's not expensive. It's not time consuming, but it's going to save your kids a lot of headache down the road.
And actually, I know this is probably going to make you cringe, but I don't even have a will. Like I said, I'm a single person. I have 2 grown children. I assume everything will go to them, and that's what I would want, but I have no will.
Yeah, and here's the thing, Rhonda. If you don't have a will, you make guys like me, estate planning attorneys, happy because there's a lot of money to be made when people die without wills and we have to go through probate. I encourage clients, get a will so that you don't have to hire guys like me. You're going to direct where your property's going to go, and what you're going to do is you're going to take a lot of grief, a lot of time, and a lot of headache off of your kids' shoulders. I would do a simple trust in your case, put that real estate in the trust agreement so that if something did happen to you, things are going to go seamless. It's going to go, as if they were writing checks out of a checking account. They're never going to miss a beat. And everything that you're talking about or worried about is going to be non-existent.
What would be the approximate cost of something like that?
And I will quote you without knowing your situation, so you can't hold me to it. But usually to do an estate plan for someone when you're doing a revocable trust, around $800 to $1,200.
Okay, that's part of the reason why I haven't done it. What about just like a will?
For a whole estate plan, usually $400 to $500. But let me tell you, if you pass away without that trust, it's going to cost you a lot more than $800 to $1,200.
Yeah. Okay, well, I can call your office and make an appointment and come in and
absolutely come in, and we work with you on fees. We're not the kind of guys, if you don't have all the money now, get out. I'll sit down. I'll be happy to have a free consultation with you, and we can work it out where it's affordable.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me give you that number, Rhonda, if you've got a piece of paper. 855-LAW-2020. It's 855-529-2020. 855-529-2020. BCN. Boyette, Cummins, Nalos. BCN Law Firm. We'll be back. We've got news, traffic, and weather right around the corner coming up on News 96.5. Hey, we're back. Yes, indeed. We're taking your phone calls. Any legal question you've got, we've got the BCN Law Firm here. This is their hour, and it's your hour, too. We call it Law 2020. As they say on their commercials, know your attorney, know your options. 855-297-9696 is how you connect with the show. And if you want to connect with the law firm, it's 855-529-2020. Like the singers sing it, 855-LAW-2020. I'll tell you what, we need to isolate those singers and just have them all during the show. Anytime I say the name, they can sing.
That would be good.
Let's get that done. Okay.
It's not me
our program director's in here, Nick. Maybe you can do that. 855-297-9696. That is the telephone number to call in. You don't have to use your real name. You could text us at 21232, or if you're really wanting to get modern, go to that News 96.5 app, where you can also put in the word news or the word weather and get up to the minute instantaneous bulletins. But you can also go down to the open mic, and you can use it to ask questions. Right now, let's turn to our new producer, Chris, and let's find out a text. Go ahead, Chris.
All right, we have one person who's saying that they recently discovered their little brother used their Social Security number to open up several accounts that are now in collections. The little brother has since passed away, and the person is wondering what they can do.
Well, the hard part is going to be establishing that the little brother opened the account. We need to really be able to establish that the little brother did it. If the little brother did it, did not have the authority to do it, and I'm assuming little brother means underage also, but not necessarily. There is, we may be able to do something, may be able to contact the credit card companies and get Big Brother out of the liability. But, I'd need to definitely sit down and talk to him and find out a little more about the facts.
All right. And if you want to follow up on that, texter, simply go ahead and you can go to bcnlawfirm.com, or you can simply call for an appointment at 855-529-2020. There's offices near you. There's offices in Winter Park, Claremont, Lakeland, and the Villages. And when I talk about the Villages office, it is not behind a gate. It's right out on 466. And you're going to find a lot of great companies in that office building. It's the Santa Fe office building. Winter Park, Claremont, Lakeland, and the Villages, all with one phone number, 855-LAW-2020. That's 855-529-2020. And one of the things, while we're screening another call, Chris is busy. He's got another text to read, but we'll get that in a moment. But one of the things we wanted to do was I wanted to ask you about know your attorney, know your options. And you and I always have a very, very fine discussion that is get an attorney first. How do they do that? How would they sign up and get a pocket full of your cards and they get pulled over on a Friday night and they can go, I've got an attorney?
It's a good idea. And one of the things that, we believe in is you need an attorney in many stages of life, not just when you're in trouble, not when you get pulled over for that DUI or not when you were sued by a, debt collector. You need an attorney to help you out when you're, good times in life also, when your kids are born, when you're getting married. There's many times that you need an attorney on your side, not just in the bad times. Mm-hmm. And so what we encourage is, come in, get to know us, let us sit down and talk to you. Let us help you out with some things while life is going well. And then we'll also be there when life doesn't go so well.
Yeah. And, of course, we want you to do that by simply establishing a relationship this week at 855-529-2020. Steve in Orlando, how can we help you, sir?
Yeah, I'd like to know if I can protect myself. I want to get a CDL, and there's a couple schools in Central Florida that have CDL qualifications and testing and things like that, instruction. And they're 3-week courses, and they're almost $7,000. Now, 100% of the people that sign up for these schools receive the loans, the $7,000 loans, but maybe 85 or only 90% of the people actually graduate the courses. But everybody is on the hook for those $7,000, whether you graduate or not. Is there a way to protect yourself against that? Like if you don't graduate, then you're not on the hook for that because you didn't receive what you paid, what you signed a note for the $7,000 for.
Wait, two things, Steve. Educate me. What is CDL?
Commercial driver's license. For driving big rigs.
Okay, and this school, who operates the school?
Well, there's two schools in Central Florida. Well, actually, there's three, but the two that are reputable, they're on either ends of, one's in Sanford and one's in on OBT in Orlando. They're reputable firms, but it's getting to the point where it seems like they're just puppy mills for loans.
Well, yeah, a couple of things, Steve. They don't give you a guarantee that you're going to pass. Correct?
They stress a guarantee that they're going to get you a job and get you this, but they don't even touch on you might not even graduate the course. They never touch on that, but they do stress that 99% of the graduates get employment, but they don't stress that some people cannot graduate that course for whatever reasons, medical reasons, any kind of restrictions.
That's called effective advertising. They're getting you in the door. I've seen a lot of schools. I've had a lot of clients who've come in from different beauty schools, architectural schools, design schools that, they ended up spending, and signing promissory notes for tens of thousands of dollars and they did not complete it or they did not finish it. And unfortunately, you signed that contract. You signed to be liable for that $7,000. And the fact that you don't complete it isn't going to get you out of the promissory note unless they have a guarantee that you're going to have that success. Here's something you have to be careful with also, Stephen. I've seen this. If it's considered student loan debt, then it's not dischargeable in bankruptcy, so you're going to be stuck with it. So really be careful before you go out and take out some type of loan to make sure, one, it's not going to be considered student loan debt, and then two, what are the stipulations, what are the qualifications, and make sure you're going to get through that course. If that's what your goal in life is to do, and that's the direction you want to go after it, but just make sure that you're not signing your name to something that's going to put a weight on your back down the road.
Wade, would you also maybe suggest that he go out and touch base with some of the trucking companies around here and some of the delivery companies and say, first of all, I'd like to give you an application. I'd like to show you who I am. This is my background check that I've paid for. Now, can you counsel me to a good school to go to, and what do I need to be doing? I'm not asking for a guarantee of employment, but I'd sure like to have a relationship with you.
Absolutely. And most people are willing. Most people would love that. They want to be able to give that advice.
Mm-hmm.
Also, contact some former students.
See
what it really took to get through.
Yeah, I'd pop into a truck stop up there in Wildwood or somewhere and just say, hey, guys, tell me what I need to do.
Yep. Well, hey, Steve, good luck.
Great idea.
Good luck. Hope it does go well. Just be careful before you sign anything.
Okay, thank you.
You might want to take whatever document they give you and do what I do. I run it by Wade Boyette. You simply scan it and send it to him. All right? It's 855-LAW-2020, 855-529-2020. And the number here, if you want to call Wade, you can talk to him right now. We are live today, 855-297-9696, 855-297-9696. And, Chris, do you have a text you could read to us, or we're out of text? We are totally out of text. And, again, what are your specialties?
My specialty, I practice in transactional law. So for 20-something years, I've done estate planning, high-end estate planning, probate, real estate. I love practicing real estate law. It's one of the things that I thoroughly enjoy doing. I help clients get out of bad financial situations. I run the bankruptcy practice in the office and the foreclosure defense and the short sale practice. So my specialty is transactional law. I'm not a litigator. I don't go to court. I help people either save money, make money, or get out of bad financial situations. My partner, Heath Nalos, runs the litigation side of the practice. And we have several top-notch litigation attorneys. So if you have a personal injury need, if you have a family law matter, if you have a civil litigation matter, we have an amazing team there to help out. Mm-hmm. And we all have our specialties. You would not want me in the courtroom. That I would not be your guy. Mm-hmm. But I am the guy that helps you negotiate the contract, put deals together, look at your real estate needs. So, each of us have our specialty, each of us have our passions, and that's what makes our firm unique.
I really like, and we brought it up, maybe 6-7 weeks ago, and that's the fact that BCN Law Firm is here to stay. BCN Law Firm is well known in the community. You guys have been around here forever, and Mr. Cummins helped build, Central Florida, basically, and he's still involved with the firm every day. And the other thing is, when you call the BCN Law Firm, you can go ahead and you can get a hold of Wade. You can actually talk to him. He's not just the guy you see on the commercial. He's actually a living human being that you can talk to.
And we take pride in that, Rob. I get extremely irritated when I watch a lot of the bar association. We're a pretty small bar for Central Florida. All of the attorneys, we all know each other. And I see a lot of the advertisements where these attorneys say, call me, I'd be honored to represent you. I guarantee you would not get through to that attorney. I know where the attorney is 90% of the time traveling. He's not even in this country. It's just advertising. Be careful. You're only going to get the representation of the attorney that's actually working on your file. You're not going to get the guy that's on that TV commercial. So make sure that the person who's representing you is knowledgeable, knows what they're doing, has a good reputation, and is going to charge you a fair price. Legal fees, like anything, are negotiable. Sit down and make sure you're getting charged a fair price for the services that you're getting.
All right, very good. We're going to come back with some calls and some text. If you would like to text us, it's real simple. Pull out your smartphone, go to the messaging app, and up there where it says address or contact, just put in 21232, 21232, 5-digit texting, really a cool marketing plan. or you could call us at 855-297-9696, 855-297-9696, the BCN Law Firm. Know your attorneys, know your options. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. This is Law 2020. Yeah, putting the law into focus for you, courtesy of the professionals at the BCN Law Firm. And again, they have offices in Winter Park, Claremont, Lakeland, and the Villages. Okay, so you can reach them anywhere you are. It's very convenient. BCNlawfirm.com. BCN stands for Boyette, Cummins, and Nalos. Okay, you got that? Let's go to the phones. And again, you don't have to use your real name. You dial us up at 855-297-9696, 855-297-9696, or text us at 21232. Kathy up in Sanford. How can Wade Boyette help you? Hey, Kathy, you there?
Hello? Yes.
You're on the air, ma'am.
Okay. My question is, I don't know if he would say this, but how much does he charge for a bankruptcy, one that isn't real intricate? I own my car and my home outright, but I have about five things I need that are against me.
Okay, well, let's real quick, Kathy, depends on what type of bankruptcy, and it sounds like you're a candidate for a Chapter 7 without knowing too much. I mean, if you file Chapter 7, it would be one fee. If you file Chapter 13, it's a different fee.
I mean, I can barely hear you. What did you say? Okay. I heard Chapter 7.
Okay, the average cost of a Chapter 7 would run between $1,500 and $1,800. That is our fee. That also includes the filing fee that we have to, collect from you to file the case. And then we also order your credit report. So your fee will be around $1,800.
Okay. And in Chapter 7, no one can come back on you or touch my house or my car?
Your house, I can protect. Your car, we need to look at the value of the car and how much equity you have in the car. So
it's 9 years old, and it's a Toyota.
Okay. Well, good chance I can protect it.
Okay, well, the reason is it's due to health issues. I'm on dialysis.
Okay.
And so I've got a lot of, expenses with that. So,
well, I'm sorry. Right. I'm sorry to hear that, Kathy, but I'd love to sit down with you and see if I can't help you out, get some of that weight off of you.
All right, thank you so very much.
Thank you, Kathy.
All right, Kathy, thank you so much. Again, the number to call in is 855-297-9696, 855-297-9696. Tell your friends they can always hear representatives of the BCN Law Firm at noon every single Sunday. That's noon on Sundays. But also, if you miss some shows and you want to get some good legal advice, you can always call the office at 855-529-2020 or go online, BCN Law Firm. That's BCN Law Firm. And you can also go on YouTube. I did that this week. It's really cool. Go to YouTube and go to the BCN Law channel on a search engine. You can watch shows that we've done, and you can see how Luis uses all these cameras. It's unbelievable. Michelle in Orlando, how can Wade help you? Michelle, go ahead.
Hey, Michelle.
And we found a really good school, and we were trying to rent a house. And we found this house. Every house we were finding, by the time we were coming to sign the lease, it was already gone. So this house came up in a neighborhood that we really liked. We signed the lease, turned over the check, which I got from my bank. And then my husband's like, I don't really like this guy. I got a funny feeling. So we really shouldn't have turned over the check after we met him. We should have waited, because we subsequently found out that he didn't really own the house, and he, had been involved in, drugs or something. And I didn't really feel comfortable with living in this house that, somebody probably, maybe drugs or something. I don't know. But we didn't think he had the right to actually rent it to us. And so after about 3 days, we contacted him and told him, listen, we can't, the house isn't going to work out. We want to get our money back. And what he did was he gave us like a third of it, after contacting my bank. He said he was going to give us all our money back, but I think maybe my bank said something to him, like we canceled the check or whatever, which they said they would stop the check and reissue one for the amount that we owed him. And so it just got real nasty. So I don't know what my rights are.
Well, first of all, Michelle, I know there's a lot going on there. We need to find out, did the guy actually have authority to rent you this house, even if he wasn't the owner? It sounds like, from what you're telling me, is, you got scammed. And, unfortunately, it's hard to go back and get money from a scam artist. There are rights that you have. There's remedies. But usually filing a lawsuit against a person who is doing that kind of stuff, they're usually uncollectible. So, if you would like, I'll be glad to sit down with you. We'll talk about, what some of your options are. But, yeah, that's why I encourage people, before they sign a lease, before they turn over a check, let's do a little bit of due diligence. Let's check things out. It's worth coming in, letting us spend 30 minutes to look over things.
All right, that's going to wrap us up. Michelle, if you'd like to call the office, it's real simple. 855-LAW-2020. That's 855-529-2020. We will recommend that you call them this week, 855-LAW-2020. That's Wade Boyette. Tell him you heard him on the radio and you liked the show. Thank you so much. We want to thank Chris for doing a great job on the board, Louise for the photography, and we will catch you all next week, 12 noon.